Hi guys, my name is Wen and I'm the founder of SushiVit. So I started with a couple of startups before, and when it came down to it, I wanted to start something myself, and I think it took so much courage out of me to start up, because as a woman, it's always been like, just live a simple life lah, find a husband, don't stand out, don't try to be too, don't try so hard, just be normal. So when I wanted to do my startup, it was hard because I got a lot of people who weren't really that supportive, so it took a lot of courage for me. I think that was one thing I wanted to say. And then the other thing is why I came down to doing something with influencers is because I was an actress as well back in 2010, 2011. And it was a very, very hard space because I have to go for a lot of castings, and I have to go and see, and I have to put my face full of makeup. I go for a casting, hopeful that I'll get something, but then there is no news. Nobody comes back and tell me like, oh, your casting, you should have done it this way, you should have done it that way. And I realized that creative space in Malaysia is really lacking. It's like, back in the days, we have really good music, Sheila Majid, gone. We've not had really good creators for a really long time. Not bloggers, okay? I'm a huge fan of marketing. It's just, for the longest time, I feel like video creators and actors and stuff are so underserved in this market, and it's like, people expect us to actually go for casting without knowing what it's about, without giving us any information. And I mean, back then when I started, there was no YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. It was just very manual, go for casting all the time. So when it came down to starting my own startup, I wanted something that was close to my heart, which was creators. And that's why I started SushiVit. So today, SushiVit is 5,000 influencers strong, and we are a platform like JobStreet. So if Nafnang is like headhunter agency, SushiVit is JobStreet.
Yeah, we have to share the mic here. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, let's just jump right in. Let's say you're a company, and then you're used to advertising during the traditional means. What are some of the upsides of going through, social media, using social influencers, and maybe some of the downsides as well? So pros and cons of using social influencing.
I have a lot to say about the pros and cons. For starts, I think the pro is that there's a lot of human touch when it comes to social media influencers, because you're dealing with another human and they have their opinions. And so as opposed to using Facebook ads, where you decide what your message is, now you don't have control, because the influencer is going to say what the message they want to say. They have the right to the key message. So having said that, the con also is there lah, because now it's not me putting an ad on Facebook and then automate it. It's like me dealing with another human. So the human-to-human interaction, sometimes you may not get what you want, because the influencer also have their right to their opinion. So I think the con definitely is that it's two sides human, whereas the pro is that you get the personal touch.
I think we heard from the talk earlier during the keynote, like Ms. Chow was saying, the metrics have changed. Like the KPI has changed. It's no longer likes or views, it's like clickable links, right? So is that how these guys are overcoming that?
When it comes to influencer metrics, I think it's a given. It's a given that everybody wants it, right? But they don't realize it's long term. Because it's like, I would be searching for something to eat in Sekinchan, and maybe Timothy Tiah's blog post comes up. It's like, he may have written it like 3 years ago, but it's lost. It's so long term that you cannot measure like, I want the result for the clicks to be now. Because sometimes people write a blog post, it gets discovered like six months later, 1 year later. You cannot discount the fact that the content itself, the creativity of the content, is its value in itself, right? The matrix is important, yes. Your key messages are important, but the creativity and the content and the viability of the content is also just as important. Having said that, our platform do have a lot of matrices. We try our best as much as we can with whatever the YouTube API or the Instagram API gives to us. We try our best to give you the metrics, but I still feel a lot of times, just because you can measure, suddenly it's like, what's the conversion? You've been doing this on newspaper for all this time. You've been doing this on on billboards. Nobody talks about conversion for billboards. So why suddenly the double standard when it comes to influencer marketing? But having said that, I understand because you spend money, of course you want to know that there's conversion. But I also feel that there's a lot going into the content, the value of their brains to think about this content, what am I going to do for you? How can I angle for this property with my Instagram? It takes brain power to really think about how to give you a post that would mean something. So I think content is really important. The creativity is also as important, not just the metrics. Depending on the industry, really. I mean, from my experience, lifestyle, travel, food, fashion, apps, phone apps, very good, right? Anything B2C, we are very good at, because I think it's very obvious, millennials, they, what attracts them, right? But if you are targeting B2B businesses, payment gateways, credit cards, it's slightly more challenging. But having said that, cannot do. It takes a lot more process to think about it.
So obviously we've got a lot of platforms, right? We've got YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and whatnot, Twitter. Obviously, I'm assuming that certain industries are more focused on certain platforms and certain works for others. Like, what's your take on that? Sorry, just to add to that, what would be a typical thing that works more on Facebook and less on Twitter or YouTube? I mean, what is your take on that? Do you notice trends?
Okay, for starts, I think you have to define your objective of what you want to do and why you want the content to be there. So if your content is supposed to be today, major sale in Lazada, okay, countdown now, then yes, please go and use Instagram and Facebook because it's a news feed. It comes up now and now, right? But if you want something that helps you when people search for something, when people search for teeth whitening, I don't know, that just came up. If somebody search for teeth whitening and you want yours to be something that somebody else endorses, then use a blog. It will last it will last a really long time on a blog, right? So you pay one time and then it lasts for a really long time. Whereas if you do Instagram, it's today is there, tomorrow no more. And YouTube also lasts quite long, right? But if you are going to ask me from an influencer's perspective, what platforms they should be on, I think everything. There's no excuse. If you want to be an influencer, do it on every single platform. Because you're already there, give it your all. I'm a huge fan of Gary Vaynerchuk. It's just give it your all, do everything. Because, it's TikTok just came up, for example. If you're the first one on TikTok, you will have 1 million followers. Definitely. And while it's still nobody, you can make the arbitrage. Even if for brands, right? You feel don't use influencer because it's expensive. Not really, depends on what you're looking for. Some influencers are still fairly cheap. You can still make an arbitrage. Whereas, some of it obviously clearly overpriced, but there are also those hidden gems that are very, very famous that nobody knows of, undiscovered, and then suddenly Firdaus finds them. When I found this fellow from Penang, wow, very famous, but nobody knows. And it's so cheap. So it really depends on what your objective is for a brand, and for an influencer, no excuse, just do everything.
So let's say if I was a typical company, I've got a product or service, and I approach you for a campaign. So typically, what type of time frame, what type of cost are we looking at? Obviously, the objective would be to reach as much people and to convert as much as we can. So
the time frame depends on how much heart attack you want to give my team. I mean it honestly. It's we are dealing with two sides of the coin, humans. So it's we are the major punching bag, and I think Timothy can vouch for me. Seriously, after I started a platform, and I think everybody going to self-serve on my platform, it's not real. It's it's they still need me to talk to them, understand, and then even influencers. It's we think that it's going to be I set up a platform already, y'all sendiri, come online, no such thing. It's I still have to J Pong, sorry, your post ready already. She sent us at 3 a.m. yesterday. So it's we still have to do it very manually. Yeah. So when it comes to time frame, it really depends. Some clients, they will expect it in 1 week. okay lah, if this is a very precious client and they are not so niao, right? They're not so inflexible about the post. 1 week I'll do it for you. But if you want to give me some comfortable time frame, flexibility, come up with all kinds of great ideas from the influencers themselves, 3 weeks. You want to do YouTube? 4 weeks. And I know some people be like, wow, you got platform and you still need 4 weeks. I mean it, you want value, you want to make sure you don't make a mistake, you want to make sure that everything is up to spec, give it the time it deserves. If you want to rush the platform players like us, or you want to rush agencies to do it for you within a week or 2 weeks, and then you don't get the result that you want, I mean, it's like that lah. Because you wanted to rush one. But if you give us time, then we will give you something much better, because we've really sat down, brainstormed, thought through, talked to the influencer, make them understand. Yeah, all that takes time.
That type of thing. So you guys come from like agencies, been with like blogging, sushi vid, content vid. What are some of the problems that you've encountered with the influencers? So what are some of the juicy stories that you can share with us?
Well, this one I got a lot to cover. A lot, no ending, man. But no, actually at the end of the day, I think it's human-to-human interaction again, it's about communicating with the brand that, hey, this one cannot. It's like, first the brand tell you, okay, I want 1 photo. When it came down to the brief, it's like, oh, I want a carousel of photos. It's like, no, we already agree with the influencers 1 photo. You cannot suddenly change to carousel photos. Sometimes, because the client is big, then we no choice. We have to say, okay lah. Then we have to go and tell the influencer, oh, this is the time where they all going to give us all kinds of funny excuses, or they cold shoulder. Worst ones are actually the worst type of influencer is the type that don't reply. It's like you send them something, they don't reply you for hours. It's like the brand is calling. It's like it's not the brand's actually fine. If you're a brand, great. It's like we like working with you because you're all very chill. The agency is the one. The agency will call you to no end because they kanchiong, because the client's at the back. So the agency will be the one like, where's the post? I want the draft. Where's the draft? It's like, we are also waiting. I mean, you have a phone, I also have a phone. I already messaged already. That's all I can do. I already messaged, I already called, I already DM them on their Instagram. That's all I can do. But yeah, the worst type of influencers is when they don't reply. No, on that note, that's the part, right? Sorry, I have to grab it back because I really want to kabu now. No, but the thing, right, is it's not so bad. Like some influencers, they are famous and then they don't have caption, and that's not really an influencer, is it? I mean, you want someone who has an opinion. You really want someone who is capable of handling themselves. And I mean, it's rare these days. Not a lot of. No, actually got also, but just that sometimes they're very lazy. Then they want you to do it for them. Or the way they have been trained by their talent agencies are like, okay, everything you do lah. Boleh tak you buat untuk I? Like that, got. They will expect that from you sometimes.
Right. Now, as let's say as a company, if I want to engage your services, what should we be looking out for? Like, what are some of the key things that we should be looking out for if we want to engage a company that's going to give us the service that we expect?
I actually really agree with him. Actually, I don't even know why I'm on the panel when he's here. It's like he's the guru of us all. It's like I should just not say anything at all. Seriously, but I agree. Passion is so important. I mean, with our influencers as well, you can see when they really, they really love makeup, right? It's like they live and breathe it. It's like every time you see them, perpetually the face very nice one. And then the videos don't lie, At the end of the day, they can dissect, right? Wow, this product put on my face, the pore disappear, and then wow, it's like wow, this mineral, my face very smooth. I don't know how they do it. It's like I just take 10 minutes in the car. But some influencers, when they're really enthusiastic about makeup, you can really feel it, and that really works. Even if they don't endorse you only, they talk about your product in their videos. People that watch them will be drawn to your product. But back to your question about how to engage our platform, go to the website, and then we start very, very small. We are a micro-influencer platform, so we start at 100 ringgit for a post. if you need a rate on an influencer, for example, like an influencer that has about 100,000 followers on Instagram could go anywhere from 800 to 1,005. There is really no set rates because Instagram, I can sort of, based on 1,000 posts that we've done, I can sort of have an average for you, like what is the best practice rates, but YouTube, I really cannot, because it's very subjective to influencers' creativity. It's very subjective to whether they're doing it indoor, outdoor, one camera, multi-cameras, multicast, or single person, right? So YouTube's difficult, but blogs and Instagram, we do have a pretty okay rate card. We improve it as we go, as and when we have more data, more campaigns, then we have more information about pricing. So over time, I think platforms are there to make us smarter, and like when we started, we were so manual. We were really, really manual, but over time, we feed our data into our platform, and so we became smarter and smarter as a team.
Individually, for all three of you, what has been the most inspiring thing that's happened to you so far in this line?
For me, the most inspiring thing to see is my team. And I'm going to tear up, but it matters so much to me that we function as a family. It matters so much to me that we love what we do. We're passionate about what we do, really. And it's like, it translates to the way we treat our influencers. It translates to the way we treat our brands. We take pride in every single campaign. It's like, whenever we scroll through Instagram, it's like, oh, is that ours? Yeah, is that ours? Oh, is that ours? It's like, and then when it's not ours, you're like, how come we didn't get the job? You know? But we're really, really a bunch of so passionate people about creators. And that means so much to me, because I came from banks and I was an investment banker, and life sucked so bad. It sucked the living daylight out of me, because I go to work and I'm dreading my feet to go to work. And then I became an actress, and it was so bad. It was like I really didn't enjoy myself. I didn't get my break. But when I started my business, I think I became me. I found the best me already, which is, me leading a team of young, people who don't want to grow up, and together we built a community of creators, and that means the most to me. I mean, for me, it's very personal, and I know people are like, oh, don't mix your life and personal. No, but today's world is sharing economy. It's like, people even consider maybe don't want to buy a house really in the future because we can share nowadays. So the world has evolved, workspace and everything has evolved into something so different. And so why does businesses have to be so rigid? So in my company, when we go to work, we wear t-shirts, shorts, slippers. Unless have to come out, all of us got spare clothes in the car because we're so lazy. But it's like, I just feel like we go from we go from our home to another home. And we function as a family. And that is what really inspires me on a day-to-day basis with my team. And which is also one of the reasons why I cannot go to Colony, because I go there, I feel like I have to dress up. Because all the people that go to Colony, right, must look Instagrammable immediately, Whereas that we all is like, oh, t-shirt, shorts, no makeup, come to work, whatever. So, yeah, what inspires me truly is my team and the community of people that I support and that support us as well.
I'd like to ask, what is your worst experience that you've encountered in this industry, and what has it taught you?
For me, the worst type of things, I think the worst for us, I really wish for the worst to be already over. I don't know whether it's over yet, because I think startup journey is always up and down. But last year, my team and we sent out over 100 proposals. And I mean proposals to all the different agencies, right? And when I started the business, really, I learned coding in 2012. And I thought like, okay I'm going to build an app. I built some Flappy Bird, 99 cents, everybody sendiri download and then play yourself. It's very good. Everybody just download app and play it. So I wanted to build an app. Right? I wanted to build a web-based application that has analytics, that has payment, that has influencer profiles, and that has all kinds of stuff, right? But it wasn't like that, because at the end of the day, it was human and human on the other side. But I already in there, investor pay money, already no choice, have to tahan and stay. But yeah, I think last year was a really testing time for my team, because 100 proposals was very stressful, very stressful, because we didn't get the jobs. And I started to question, was it because our proposal wasn't good enough? Was our price too expensive? Maybe our proposal was like we missed some element in there is missing. What is it? Because people wouldn't tell us. And so last year we tried so hard to come up with all the different proposals. And at one point I went to a friend from an agency as well, and I said, can you look at my proposal and tell me what's wrong? Tell me why it's not working. And sorry, I tear up again. It's because it's so heartbreaking for me. And they looked at it and they said, "Wen, I feel so sorry for you. You really put in effort. I can see you put in effort, but it didn't close." It was so painful for me that I had to go to my investor and say, "I don't think this is working out. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't think this is working out." And I very honestly told them, "Hey guys, we're a startup. This is not going to work out. I cannot send you proposals anymore. Please, if you are pitching, I cannot participate in your pitch. If you are fishing for price, I cannot help you to fish your price anymore. Only come to me if you honestly want to work with me. Please, because we're a startup, we have capital problems, we have mouths to feed. I cannot keep giving you proposal upon proposal. You have to tell me either what's going on, or if you want to work with me, everything else is negotiable. You tell me your budget's 50,000, okay, I can make it work. I can do my best to make it work while we make a little bit of living, that's the whole point, right? But don't come to me and fish for something, and then in the end, I was just fishing out. That was what hurt the most for me, because we really, I think it was like, oh my goodness, we stayed every weekend at work. Even like the last week, my whole team, like we left work at 4, we left work at midnight last night. We work every single day really hard. So it really mattered to me that when we work with agencies, that they tell us honestly, if they're pitching, if they're fishing, we don't want to participate. We're very clear. I know what we're worth, I know what our value is, and I know that I can give you impact. I will do my best, but no more proposals. That was where I drew the line.
I think it's important that we get a perspective from both sides. I think, as a consumer, you consume content, you see what's put in front of the screen, and obviously, that's all glamorous and all that. But at the end of the day, Miss Jaja, the first keynote, she posted the video at the end, says, "Don't quit." And I think Gaston said, you have to do work with your passion, and obviously we see the passion up here. So I think that is the underlying message that we want to convey, that whatever business you do, whatever things you do, don't quit and have the passion. And it works anyway, not just what's happening, what's the in thing right now, social influencer marketing. It's going to be the same. It's not like something that is like a magic bullet, you do it, and then you're the next Mark Zuckerberg. And on that point, I'd like to get a bit of your insight on, hey, what's happening with this Cambridge Analytica? Is that affecting you? Is that having an effect on what's happening now in the market?
For me, I think now is the opportunity to go all in on Facebook. Because everybody's scared, so nobody invests in Facebook, so the price is going to be cheap. And no competition, no? For you, now is the time to go into Facebook and just throw money there. Because nobody else is there. Everybody's like, oh no, Facebook, no, Facebook. Yeah, but honestly, truth be told, all of us still scroll Facebook in the morning, isn't it? Everything first thing you all wake up, so also still scroll your Facebook, right? Doesn't change, You ask me deep down, I don't know, maybe Malaysians are very apathetic, thanks to our politics, everything, we are immune already. But it's like, honestly speaking, we still scroll our Facebook. You ask me whether I'm going to delete Facebook, I don't think so. Personally, I can't, because I have a lot of friends from the US, I have a lot of friends in Australia, I love my friends. I'm not going to delete my Facebook, right? But yeah, Malaysians are still on Facebook. That hasn't changed for us, really. And now is really the time to go all in. It's cheap.
So having said that, I'd like to pass the mic and let the panelists maybe have 2 minutes of some parting wisdom for the students on, let's say, if they were going on forward with the competition, you know, what can I do? Or maybe even for the youth entrepreneurs that we have here as well, like if they wanted to expand their business, you know, how can they leverage off social influencer marketing and how should they get started?
Okay, I don't need to think, because girls are quick, you know, we like that. When it comes to advice for young entrepreneurs, I believe Timothy was right. You need to really be the face of your own business. At the end of the day, I'm an introvert. Nobody believes me when I say that. It's true, I'm an introvert. After I hang out with y'all for some time, talk here already, right, I need to go back to my hole and hide for a while. I'm an introvert. But when it comes to my business, I just got to be brave lah. Have to, you know, come out and stand strong. And I'm shaking. Seriously, down here inside it's shaking one. Y'all don't see it only. It's like very, very nervous, hands all cold. So, but as entrepreneurs, you really have to be the major storyteller for your own business. Nobody else can do it for you. Even like basic stuff lah. Even for example, Google Ads or writing blogs about your journey. I think people like to follow the journey. And so a little bit of shameless promotion. Please follow me on LinkedIn and my Instagram. Later can ask me for the handle. Okay, it's very small, but yeah, just a little bit on that. For the competition, what competition is this?
We have a competition where we have product sponsors come in, they give them a campaign, whether they push like a product or a service. It's basically for the university students, they split up into teams, they use their social media platform to push for it. So I think they gain some techniques from the keynote, from the influencers as well, you know, consistency, content, you know, that type of jazz. Anything to add on top of that?
Think of how you're going to give value to the brand that is going to be sponsoring this. So a few days ago, I had a campaign from Tmall, and one of my influencers called me on the phone. And I usually I'm not the one handling, but because it's Chinese and Firdaus is Malay, so I had to pick up the phone. The influencer asked me like, oh, I don't know how to propose for this campaign. And I said to them, what do you think Tmall is trying to do? At the end of the day, Tmall is trying to tell people, right, that this category of products can be purchased on Tmall. Why is this category of products need social media influencers? Because maybe people always think made in China cannot use, made in China quality bad, made in China, okay, not so good. Or maybe they are not discovered. Maybe the brand, Tmall selling this category of products is not being discovered by Malaysians. And because of the DFTZ and everything, they're expanding to Malaysia, right? So then I put it back to the influencer. How are you going to give value to the client? What do you think Tmall wants? And I didn't give him the answer. I told him, you think for yourself. If you are Tmall, what do you think they're trying to get from you? So for the students, if you're doing this, think not just for you and your feed, think about the brand. What will help them? What is it that they want? And a lot of times it's sales lah, but a lot of times it could also be, you know, content. Sometimes they really need content. And I cannot emphasize this further. A lot of brands, before they start, already want to do influencer marketing. But I'm like, bro, your foundation not built yet. Your Facebook don't have a lot of information. Your blogs are empty. You don't have a lot of inbound marketing already. So I think that's really important. So maybe sometimes influencers or the students could consider what is the content, what's the angle that will help the brand, and do some research on their own website also. Or you can call me. I will have a look. Yeah, those that are here will need special tips.
Well, there you have it. I hope you guys found this panel to be as engaging, as entertaining as the previous one. I'd like to, again, welcome everybody to give our three panelists a big round of applause for a wonderful session. Thanks to Timothy, Yuhwen, and Dexter. And now I would like to pass the MC, mic back to the MC. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.